morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Ambassadorial Wing and a brand new installment of Council of the Ones Crusade Review. And I hope y'all are having a wonderful Thursday afternoon or evening, wherever you're at, or if you're catching us on the replay, hope you're having a wonderful day. And today we are back with another double header review. We're going to be reviewing episodes 10 and 11, Ruling from the Tomb, and the rules of the game. And with me, I have got my merry band of miscreants, my fellow council members. You know them, you love them. They're wacky, they're crazy. You don't have to be crazy to be a part of the council, but it doesn't hurt. Fiona Wolf and Mountains of Elysium. So, my friends, we're back.
Yes, I have a good amount of crazy. It's 83 degrees here in Florida. It's November. Help!
Yes. Good Lord.
We don't have a winter. We have summer and 1 month of, it's like not 80 degrees out? Okay.
Shut up.
Yes, we have raining and about to rain.
Raining and about to rain. Well, here in Indiana, we get four seasons in one day. You sometimes can wake up and it's cold as all hell, and then you can be leaving work for the day and it's nice and sunny in springtime.
Yes.
But we are
Virginia
not here.
has that too.
But we are not here to talk about the weather. We're here to talk about Crusade episodes 10 and 11. So, my friends, let's jump right in. Which episode do you want to hit first? Ruling from the Tomb or the rules of the game? Either way, it rules. Sorry, bad joke.
Well, I would honestly say his version of episode 10 follows up with 11 pretty well. Because Lockley did invite a certain Matthew Gideon to visit Babylon 5.
Yes, he did.
Who was the stupid man that let go of you during your marriage? Oh, John
Sheridan.
Yes, that is one advantage of having her formerly married to Sheridan for like what was it, like 3 years?
Something like that, said.
I think it was, or something like that. They didn't last at all.
No, I'm trying to even remember if he was married to Lockley first and then Anna. Or was it Anna?
It was Lockley. It was Lockley first and then Anna.
Yes. And then third time's the charm with the Lynn.
Yes. First one ended divorce, which was amicable. Second time ended with death. And then, guess what? I'm not actually dead. She's not actually dead. Oh, wait a minute. She isn't dead, but she's dead inside because she's been co-opted by the shadows. And then she really did die when he made go Zaha Doom go boom.
Yes. Shadow ship GPS, Anna Sheridan. Would you like a new model today? Just insert your favorite human.
And do want to say hello to the chat and everybody watching out there in the internet land, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. Recently purchased by Elon Musk, and we say to Mr. Musk, thank you. You're our hero.
I gotta
and there went all my subscribers.
I know.
How dare you praise Elon Musk?
Although I gotta admit, though, Twitter has definitely been more interesting in the advent of,
yes, it has.
And I've seen more forbidden memes per capita. So I think a lot of the meme posters have returned.
Yes, they have, and there was much rejoicing. Yeah. Anyway, okay, moving on into the episode itself. Ruling from the Tomb.
Mars. Everybody on Mars is like, you gotta remember, we're an independent planet now. But then you also remember, it's like, if Earth dies, you're pretty much screwed too.
Yeah, because you get most of your supplies from Earth, so to speak.
Yeah. Oh dear.
But anyway, in this episode of Crusade, we're dealing with an Armageddon cult and a Doomsday cult, the Sacred Omega.
The voices told us, and then that's why you get Gideon standing up on stage. It's like, oh yes, we only have months to live. I'm sorry, everyone.
boy, this episode really brings into question how far is too far when it comes to religious belief, or even in joining a cult. And in my experience, cults are never a good thing unless it's, of course, as some people would call it, the cult of Christ. And yes, well,
Well, there is some other factors in the fact that they're showcasing just how messed up Mars still is. Like Mars is still in its baby phase of "we am free, woo."
They're the child with mom's credit card gone to the sweet shop.
yeah, no kidding. And Archer calling, good to see you, bud. Another day of bomber. At least no one had to hide a comm link this time. That's true.
Oh yeah.
And, at least he was a somewhat reasonable bomber. He was like, we're doing this to save everybody's soul because everybody's condemned and damned and just damned. Like, gee, aren't you all just cheery? And, okay, I'm just going to ask the question. Who came up with the name for a doomsday cult called the Sacred Omega? Omega is not sacred. It's just a letter in the Greek alphabet.
Well, I guess they could drive it as it's the sacred ending because Omega is the last in the Alpha and Omega. Wee.
The Alpha Omega.
And I did look at that comment though. Anno, it was Anno at first until they couldn't get Claudia back for season 5 and had to create Lockley. So I wonder if Ivanova would have ended up having a fling with Gideon then, huh?
That would have been interesting.
I mean, because I don't. It might have worked because they are kind of similar in the fact that they put their military careers, first, and they really didn't have too many hookups with other people, or the hookups they had ended disastrously.
Yeah, and speaking of which, Lockley has some rather humorous dialogue in it's episode 11, The Rules of the Game, when they're on the station, when she says, yeah, John always did prefer me under him.
Oops.
I swear I had the image that scene from Office Space, but Gideon with the cup of coffee.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I
know which one you're talking about.
Yes.
Oh no!
What made it worse is the ring that he wears in Office Space is the Academy ring that Gideon wears throughout the Crusade. He loved it so much he wanted to bring it in. So that ring, I was looking at that and going, "Oh crap! I can't get that image out of my head now." Their children will have boobs.
Yeah, Lockley, can you move to the side? Yeah, that's great. And Colin's like, it was all because he listened to that damn French peasant girl. I beg your pardon. Joan of Arc was not a peasant. You're a peasant. Your mother was a peasant.
And your father sang elderberries.
Oh, but these 2 episodes though helped develop Dr. Chambers a little bit more, and even Max. My goodness, because we really did need to get into a little bit of Max's background. The fact that he had was it an ex-wife of his?
Yeah, that was Rules of the Game.
Yeah, but even between both these episodes, though, you get a little bit more about both those characters, which wouldn't have made too much sense in the original TNT, broadcast lineup.
Yeah.
No kidding.
But you can redemption arc coming here, and actually, he's a character I think we'd have all come to really, really like, especially how he acts in the second episode.
Oh man. But it does make sense that Max would have a wife that gets mixed in with shenanigans of the Shadow Realm type. It's like really? But of course, what is a relic hunter without having to sell to shady people?
True. But, with, ruling from the tomb, you've got not only people who are religious that are acting stupid, but you got scientific people who are acting stupid.
I mean, and heck,
And
even Gideon gets angry with some people. Like, we were supposed to be able to cut through all this bureaucratic red tape because we're kind of on a timer here.
yeah, the rules of the game. You know what? If y'all want to just bounce back and forth between the two episodes, that's fine. I don't care.
Because they honestly tie in well with each other. Because it showcases like all the mess that's going on near Earth, even if you can't show Earth itself. Because Mars is pretty much just a stone's throw away in comparison.
Well, you look at it, you've got a bunch of religious fanatics on one hand, and you got a bunch of people acting like religious fanatics on the other hand. You got the Lorcans. You got those wacky Lorcans. And can I just say, I want to punch the Bakiri ambassador in the face until he was talking out his a-hole. If Bakiri even have an a-hole.
I think it's on his face. That's what he was talking out of.
Ooh.
Damn, Elysium is coming out swinging.
But it does make me wonder if they were setting up all these threads in order, like once it got resolved, like the plague part, then humanity and everybody else would be able to go back to some of these rough bumps and be like, what if you get in trouble like that? How should we react, huh? Like, oh boy.
Yeah. Well, not to mention, okay, we've got Tom Chiote back as one of the Lorcans. I can't remember their names offhand, but it was Rez and something. Oh, dear. Yeah, Colin, the most holy. Oh, my. That whole thing. The most holy. The most holy. The most holy. I mean, good grief. Catholics don't cross themselves this much and everything, and those two do that stupid circle hand thing around their face. I should know. I'm going through RCIA classes now to join the Catholic Church, and even we don't cross ourselves this much.
Yeah, let me see if I can find.
Well, Elysium, back me up here.
Yeah, that's true. Very kind of maybe once, twice a day at most.
Yeah,
but these guys are examples of fake piety. They
fake
religious belief. You could see they held none of it, even of their own. They just show outward trappings of what they were.
Those are. Go ahead, Elysium.
I was gonna say, like, they pretty much show kind of the worst aspects of religious fanaticism. Where the guy from the previous episode, even though he was completely misguided, he truly believed, and was these. I'll try and. I had other words to use, so let's say Lorcan.
The lore holes.
Yes.
Are they Ascarns?
Yes, I believe that's Narn for Lorcan. You're correct. The Ascarns, yeah.
Oh man, but I do find it fun that Marina had to go save Max. It's like, I swear she'll kill you. She will do it. Look in her eyes. Oh.
But on one hand, like you mentioned, Elysium, you've got the somewhat deranged but very sincerely pious and religious sacred Omega cult, and then you've got the phony baloney fake as a $2 crucifix Lorcans. And to the chat, DJ Ronnie, good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you stopping by.
I am looking up some of the trivia. They did name a couple of street names on Mars after
Bradbury and Carter. Yes,
Burroughs also as well. So they added Burroughs directly.
Oh, Edgar Rice Burroughs. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
I almost missed that.
Yeah, because Carter was the name of the character from Barsoom.
And the character of the lady in season 1 or 2 with the Free Mars people. She was it Carter? Supposedly the granddaughter of the first captain of the first ship. That's who it's supposed to be in this setting. Was John Carter, as a captain of the first colony ship in the lore.
Interesting.
But the bar Phobos where they're in, they say it's not definitive, but it could be the same bar where Sheridan was arrested for in season 4. It was called.
Oh yeah, when he was captured. Yeah, that's possible.
But in the Lurker's Guide, it says as there's probably a lot of Phobos bars on Mars, it's probably may or may not be.
Yeah. Well, and as always, we get some very insightful commentary from Mr. JMS, J. Michael Straczynski. He's the most holy, although he wouldn't say so, and it's kind of heretical for us to call him holy, but he's a pretty darn good writer, and we like him.
The title of this particular episode, Ruling from the Tomb, it's a distinct possibility for Mars, if they have to rule over a dead Earth, if they hadn't been able to find the cure.
Well, not to mention, I think it's a reference to the fact that you've got people listening to a dead woman. Not to mention a dead woman who's been dead for centuries. Literally. I mean, we're talking Joan of Arc.
Yep.
I mean, and okay.
Well, it's one thing to take things on faith, but it showcases when Galen's talking to Sheridan, like, how Sheridan, wherever Sheridan goes, people have a tendency to follow. So when Galen helps give him visions of things, that's helpful. In this case, for this episode, it's not so helpful to get.
No, because you've got a ghost telling the people that are listening to it, go blow them up because they're sinners. They're all sinners and they deserve to die. I'm pretty sure. Okay, I'm going to qualify this very specifically. I'm pretty sure Jesus would have said, yeah, you're not supposed to kill people. You're supposed to bring them to the truth. And the truth is, well, the salvation through me and the relationship you can have with the Father. Not kill them all, kill them and blow them up. Just saying.
Oof. And so, Gideon's worries were pretty well-founded. It's like, how's the security going, Captain Lockley? Because I just see a bunch of targets here all lined up in a row.
Well, not to mention, I'm just going to say this. I don't think the Mars security forces have gotten their ducks all in a row just yet. I mean, they're working on it. They're trying, and I give them an A for effort. But yeah,
I think a lot of that was arrogance. They didn't want help, because I think had Garibaldi been involved with the security, they would not have gotten in.
I mean, they probably wanted to get. I'm just saying they probably wanted to get Jerry Doyle for some of this. Maybe even later on, if they went back to Mars, which they probably would have, based on what I read in some of the short stories, because there was going to be a whole lot of Shadow of Vorlon tech oopsie daisies that would probably happen later on. Oh no.
Well, in this case, it wasn't Shadow of Vorlon technology. It was just good old-fashioned explosives.
Yeah.
And it looked like they had a nuke, and like, oh great. Can we get any more? They have nukes now? Okay, I hate to say I'm going to reference this line from this movie, but I'm going to reference this line from this movie. They have nukes now? They have nukes now. They have nukes now.
Yes.
That stupid line from The Rise of Skywalker. They fly now? They fly now? They fly now.
That's what it will be remembered for.
I can't believe I remember that line. I think my mind just threw up in itself for just a minute.
The only reason why I know that is because so many people made memes. So many memes.
Yes, I know. I've seen many of them. Yeah, DJ, I love the bar scene myself because Trace is trying to get Dorina to dance, and she's like, I don't dance. And then he's like, you're dancing. And they're dancing, and she actually moves pretty good. But of course, then again, she is a thief. And she is dancing.
And it looks like Max is actually a good lead. He's able to move her around. It's like, ooh, interesting.
It was interesting the minute then that there was an opportunity to go again. She wanted to dance with him. That he'd broken her fear of getting out there, which was a nice touch.
I agree. Well, here's the interesting thing. You have the religious zealotry on one side, then you have a guy, Trace, the pilot, who we meet in we'll meet next week formally. But we find out that he was part of the Foundationalist Church until he had a falling out with the big guy, which I'm like, okay, I can. It's like I can understand. You had a falling out with God, fair enough, and you had a justified reason to have a falling out with God. Also, again, fair enough. And you know, it begs the question: is it better to have had religious belief and then had your excuse me worldview kind of broken up because of people's stupidity, or was it better to not have believed at all? Or is it better to have believed, lost your faith for a little while, and then rediscover it? I myself, I am of the mind of the third. Yes, Colin. Franklin is also a foundationalist. Yeah, that's where we heard that we heard that of that particular church for the first time, or that particular religious belief for the first time was from Franklin.
Even though this is a slight side adventure, I did get the giggles when I saw it on social media there, where Mr. Terrific was apparently more of an atheist, and then for DC Universe, before it decided to be like going off into different directions, had Mr. Terrific's wife come back with angelic powers because his wife was very devout, and and it was a way to kind of like when he was having his worst moment of disbelief as an atheist, she comes back and showcases like, yes, my faith is real. That gave me a good giggle.
I would say it would give anybody a good giggle. Well, we've talked about the foundationalists a little bit here from Ruling from the Tomb. And then of course we get the fully baloney, the snooty, faluty, rottenness to the core Lorcans. Of course, not all the Lorcans are a-holes, just the two on the station. But then we find out, oh yeah, all the Lorcans are assholes. we are so superior, and we are so much better than you because we are not unclean. Why don't you go talk to Jesus? Let's just see how unclean you are. Because you may not be human, but guess what? I think what Adam and Eve did also extends to you.
Well,
because I'm going to go out. Just let me say this real quick, Fiona. I'm going to go out on a theological limb, a very heady theological limb. What if it wasn't just humanity that was born under the condition of original sin? What if it was all sentient life? Just saying.
Although that has been
possible.
That has been a premise of some science fiction settings before. And it is actually something fun to look at because it's like, wait, you call God, but just by a different name. I see.
Yeah. We call God Yahweh. You call God the Most Holy. Let's see, which is less annoying. Let's see. Every time we say Yahweh, we don't make some stupid hand gesture around our face. We just at particular times during the day, or when we say a particular prayer, we just cross ourselves. Of course, that's just the Catholics. Hi, hello, ambassador. Soon to be Catholic, formally confirmed.
Yay!
But yay, indeed, yeah. But yeah, it's just I've said this before about JMS. I know he is an atheist, but I like his commentary in these 2 episodes about religious belief. And it's, to me, it's interesting to get all these different perspectives on what he thinks about religious belief. And with Ruling from the Tomb, he's like, yeah, I don't think killing in the name of God, or at least thinking that they're killing in the name of God, is a good thing. No, it isn't. Also known as the Crusades. Not a good thing. Crusades were a bad thing. A very bad thing on both sides, not just us, but the other guys too. Just saying.
Yes.
But
Sorry.
no, go ahead, Alicia. I'm kind of rambling here, so go ahead.
It just reminded me of the story kind of about the convert to the who's becoming Catholic. It's a story about kind of which leads into religious being bad. This priest was teaching this Jewish man, forming him in the faith, and he said, "Okay, you're ready to be baptized." He said, "No, Father, I have to go to Rome to see it, on business, and when I come back, I'll be baptized." And the priest said, maybe you want to be baptized first, as he knew a lot of just corruption in Rome, that it can be a bad place. So he said, no, Father, I've got to go. I'll be. And a month later, the priest is saying, okay, he's not coming back. He's seen what Rome is like, and he'll think then that that's what Catholics are. 2 nights later, he had a knock on the door, and the man said, "Okay, Father, I'm ready to become a Catholic." And he said, "Are you sure you went to Rome?" He said, "Yeah." "Did you go and visit the Vatican?" He said, "Oh, yeah." And he said, any institution that's corrupt, vile, and venal, and can still hold to the faith, must be true. And despite, and when you look at the Lorcans, they're dicks, a lot of them.
Yes.
But just because their practitioners are dicks doesn't mean the message they have is incorrect, or you're wrong. And you'll see that it's holding onto your faith despite the actions, the stupid actions of people who claim to share that faith of yours.
Yeah,
that's deep.
Yes, it is. Well, and, as I mentioned in passing, and I do mean I've mentioned in passing for those of you who have been here weekly or anything, I am going through our CIA classes, which is essentially welcome to the Catholic Church, becoming a Catholic. And this past Sunday, we went through the veneration of Mary and the saints. And, as speaking as a Protestant, becoming Catholic, I thought maybe this would be the week that things would kind of hit the wall for me. I'd be like, yep, nope, this ain't going to work. But the way it is explained, and I'm not going to go into all the particulars here. That's not the point of this stream. All I will say is, to my Protestant mind, soon to be Catholic, it makes sense. And that's all I'll say. And do I agree with everything that Holy Mother Church does? No. But is the faith sound? Is the theology sound? Yes. I'd say in some respects a lot more solid than the Protestant church. But I'm not Protestant bashing because I was a Protestant. So, but that's beside the point. Yes, the Lorcans are assholes. Yes, they shall be put on a giant frying pan and launched into the sun. Yes, I am calling for the entire erasure of the Lorcans from the galaxy because I think the universe would be a whole lot better off without the Lorcans.
And here, over this sector of space, you'll see that the Interstellar Alliance has quarantined the area. Please do not disturb the local wildlife, aka the Lorcans.
Wildlife? Those things have... are you familiar with David Weber's Honor Harrington series? I cannot say that I am, Colin. And I'm not saying that to be rude. I am sincerely. I cannot say that I've ever heard of it. So
yes, I am. Where Honor and her crew had to deal with the Stilties in the first book, where they were the indigenous people, and the Havenites were giving them weapons that were beyond their knowledge. Oh no!
Although I will say, I like the idea of a laser that you can just implant in the palm of your hand. I do like that idea. I don't know why I like that idea.
No, that's a pretty cool weapon if you don't have laser beams coming from your eyes. Huh.
They can become from your hands. Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, Elysium, I know this isn't necessarily your neck of the woods, but you will get this joke. Maybe William Wallace was shooting bolts of lightning from his hands. instead of his ass. Sorry,
Yes.
bad Braveheart joke. Bad ambassador.
Oh yeah, that's true. The Graysons did exile the Medicines, if I'm saying that correctly. It's been a while, but they exiled them to another nicer planet because they were beyond Islamic Jihad level. Oh my. And they caused a lot of problems later. But the Graysons were going by their own faith level, and they couldn't justify exterminating a whole entire sub range of humans, so they exiled them to a nicer planet.
I get the distinct impression. I get the distinct impression that Colin is not a fan of the movie Braveheart. Colin, I'm going to say one thing to you. You'll probably know exactly who I'm talking about. History buffs, Braveheart. That guy does not like Mel Gibson, and I cannot say I blame him. But anyway, we have been on a little bit of a tangent today. I do apologize, everybody. You come here for a well thought out and constructive stream, and here we are talking about Braveheart. My apologies.
We did warn people that we are crazy, though. So
that is true.
You're covered, Ambassador.
I know. Well, here's the thing. At least we're not the Lorcans, and at least we're not the Sacred Omega. Two of the crackpottiest bunches. Yes, 10 seconds into, and Nick Hodges. Okay,
but no,
I want to do.
I just want to say, I'm guessing this wouldn't have been the last we've seen of like how Earth is doing. I imagine there probably would have been an episode or two focusing on like, meanwhile, back on planet Earth. Even though a majority of people have adjusted to the fact that they might expire soon, here's something radical going on over here. It was bound to happen.
That's true. That's true. But it does tie into the greater, particularly rules of the game. It does tie into the greater mission. We want to go to your planet to see if there's any technology that we can use. Oh, yeah, sure. You can come down just so we can show everybody else how much of an a-hole we are and how righteous and not unclean we are. Can you say the Lorcans are like the Pharisees? And everybody else is like the tax collector? Please, dear Lord, let me not be as bad as that Pharisee. And meanwhile, the Pharisee is going, "Oh, dear Lord, thank goodness I am so holy and righteous, and I do everything right." And God's probably looking down that Pharisee and going, "Yeah, I wish I could strike you with the bolt of lightning."
Oh man.
Comment, I'm putting that comment up. That's a good comment. Actually, I would have been interested to find out what actually happened on the Lorcan homeworld when the most holy turned up.
How many most holies are there? Well,
oh no, I better not, because you haven't seen Life of Brian yet, have you, Ambassador?
Have I seen what? Seen what? I didn't hear you over Fiona's coughing. Say again.
Have you seen The Life of Brian yet?
I still have it. I still have not watched it, and I need to. I know I need
There's
to.
There's a comment I wanted to make, so I can't because it would be a spoiler.
Okay, just all right. Will it be like a massive spoiler?
It happens in The Life of Brian, and it's something that would connect here. But if I say anything, it's a spoiler because it's worth seeing. It's worth seeing.
I'm planning on watching it. I haven't gotten around to it yet. That's the only problem. That's okay. You can. I'll once I watch it, I'll tell you. Then you can tell me the reference.
Yes.
I am a Pateus to wait and wait. Mo said Pantheon. I was thinking about the tomorrow. The TMOR cost showed him. Oh, okay. I think I'm getting what you're saying. All right. Takes a minute to decipher. He's not the most holy. He's okay. I think Colin was trying to tell me what you're referencing.
No, that's something I could mention, but it's not that.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I mean, from the point of view of seeing what it was that led to their particular relief structure, religious beliefs. Well,
Well,
evidently the Lorcans got their hands on a bunch of technology that they shouldn't have gotten their hands on because they're not advanced enough, and they still probably wipe poop on their faces. I mean, have you seen their faces?
well, the thing is though, it kind of ties into how the Narns reacted to Jakar. I imagine they reacted kind of a similar way to Jaquan back in the day. If you kind of like
Yeah,
just do a little bit of a hyper focus and imagine what it did with these kind of people, and it looks like they're even more fanatical. Oh, although again, you can also see that with the Harrington series that he mentioned as well. The
gotcha.
Graysons do have their unfortunate offshoots. Oi, oi, oi.
And I just gotta say it. Why is it that the Bikiri always get mixed up with the worst type of people? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, how? Okay, I'm just gonna say this. How dumb can the Bikiri be? Oh yeah, we're just gonna leave these people on a planet just because they happen to migrate here and it's got all this technology. They don't live there. This isn't like Star Trek Insurrection. It isn't a planet that keeps you perpetually young. Hello. It's just a planet
So,
with a lot of technology.
though the Brokiri do take 10% of everything they manufacture on the planet, so the Brokiri have a pretty good deal there. They don't have to do anything, and they still get kickbacks from the
The Lorcan.
Yeah,
Lorcans.
I do like the fact that Gideon and Lockley get to go kind of slumming it, like that episode where Franklin and Garibaldi did the same,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and they both enjoy it immensely.
Yeah, they really enjoy it, particularly after. Well, can we just to answer your question real quick? No, Colin, I don't think Jaquan was a Vorlon. I think he was just a really smart, really holy, really pious Narn, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, because from the looks of it, based on how Jaquan's revered in their society, they reacted to him the same way they reacted to Jakar in the Book of Jakar.
Yeah,
You,
that's what I'm thinking. Jaquan was a holy man. He wasn't a Vorlon.
But in some
Because
ways, he may have been touched by the Vorlons, just like Jakar.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, can we'll talk. We could talk about rules of the game and ruling from the team, particularly the arc that Gideon and Lockley go through in those two episodes. Because in one episode he is extremely adversarial, although not entirely unjustified towards Lockley, and that was ruling from the tomb. And in rules of the game, well, they go share a shower and a
that
few other things, I would imagine.
they're kind of cut from the same cloth. They just came in from different directions. And that's why I think that they would have worked as a couple had it been able to keep going.
Yeah, I want to answer Colin's question real quick. If I remember correctly, Colin, it was Joshala. Wasn't that the Narn
Yes.
religious figure or their god or whatever? It goes
Or like
Joshala, Jaquan,
Jawan?
and Jalan. Yeah, that's it. Or is it Jalan that's the holy figure? No, it is Jalan. Because it's Jaquan and Joshala that are quote unquote prophets, if I remember correctly. I know Jaquan for a fact. I think it's Joshala. Yeah, it's Jal. Yeah, I think that's right. Don't hold me to it, but I think that's right. I know for a fact. We all know for a fact Jaquan is a prophet or a holy man.
It doesn't
But
say in the wiki.
The fact that Lockley likes simple, messy food is a bonus, I think, because it's like yay. Because otherwise, she's so like professional in most instances. Where it's fun that when she kicks off her boots, it's like she'd probably be like the one to like sloppy joes. Nice.
well, not to mention she likes shrimp and chicken lo mein, and I never could get into lo mein noodles, but I do like shrimp and I do like chicken. That's why I like shrimp and chicken stir fry. it's nice to see that, the food that we eat nowadays survives into the year 2270, I think. Or is it 2260? 22, let's see. Wasn't Drashada the one Zach said?
Yeah, that's the Drazi. That's one
No,
of the
that's
Drazi.
calling. That's the Drazi holy person, or deity. That's what I'm looking for. That's the Drazi deity, Droshala.
Yes. 2267 is the date.
22. Yeah, that sounds right. So it's nice to know in 2267 that shrimp and chicken stir fry or lo mein still exists, and there was
And
much
that
rejoicing.
vegans still haven't won.
Yes, those dirty vegans haven't won because there are aliens out there who also eat meat, and there was much rejoicing.
Yeah. They don't know what it was, but it tasted good.
It's bacon, but to the Narns, it's called something else, kind of like the Swedish meatballs. I see.
Don't you, Vienna, Elysium, don't you dare start it. Don't do it. Don't you bring up the S word. That goes the same for you, chat. I'm watching you. You bring up the S word, I'm going to drop that one drop that I still have. I won't get a copyright claim for. I'll drop that. I'll drop it. You even think of saying the S word, I will get very grumpy.
I do want
hate that
soda.
food.
I want a soda. Yeah.
Vienna.
Yay. Oh,
nice.
but I do find it funny that it's like Max's ex-wife comes in. Oh yeah, I owe a gangster like $100K. It was originally $50K, but every 6 months the interest goes up. Like, oh, poor Max. He has the worst luck.
But he shows to be no kind of hatred. He was able to handle those guys pretty well.
Well, sadly, it seems like it takes one to know one when it comes to Max. I'm like, woo. Yeah. So you get a little bit more of his background.
Do you know what a vegan is? Yes, of course. I've seen every episode of Star Trek. Colin, you're killing me. I think the mother thing was a vegan. Oh Lord. Veganism is wrong. Not a sin, just wrong. I'm sorry, Elysium, Vienna. What were you saying?
Meat is delicious with vegetables.
Meat is delicious by itself. All right. Elysium, you can put that in the chat.
Yeah, we might as well. Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. Okay, for those of you who are wondering, Elysium just said vegan is Centauri for Lorcan. Oh, Lord.
To be honest, I admire vegans, but there's some militant ones that are difficult to deal with. My neighbor is a vegan and wonderful guy. We have good fun, but some among that community can be nasty.
Extreme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here's the thing. If you're a chilled, laid back vegan, just saying, "Hey, I happen to like eat vegetables instead of meat," I'm like, okay, cool. Are you gonna throw blood on me? No. Okay, we can get along just fine. It's the angry, bitter, blood sugar dropping vegan that's like, "How dare you eat meat?" I'm like,
please stop throwing all that milk on the floor. I would like to drink the milk of the cow. Thank you.
Why don't you have some meat? It might raise your blood sugar. I don't know. Have a potato. Actually, I had a baked potato today. It was delicious. It was stuffed with roast beef and cheese and sour cream and grilled red onions, and it was rather delicious. And right now, there are a million vegans' brains going, he desecrated that potato with disgusting meat. And also butter and sour cream. Real butter from
Right
real
on.
cows.
Ma'am.
Yes,
What?
DJ, it is. It was a delicious potato from my local McAllister's. And there was much rejoicing. Yay. Okay, I think I've rambled enough about potatoes and vegans.
Ma'am, all I could tell is like if they had more episodes on B5, we'd probably be seeing more of the Dark Star.
Yeah, Dark Star. That plays with the almost but not quite stripper.
Yeah, huh? Mainly because you know Max and Dorina would be back in there for whatever kind of character reason.
And I will say this about Max and rules of the game. He can be a ruthless mother, and I like it. Because he makes Rolf Mueller his bitch, and I'm like, how does it feel to have the shoe on the other foot, you asshole?
Yes.
With your little soul patch mustache, which I would love to. I wish Max, after he put that little ring around his neck, had shaved off. He's like, if you come near either me or my ex-wife or our cat, that's what's going to happen to you. And I'm like, dang, Max has got a dark side, but he only brings it out when he really needs to. And I'm like, I can respect that. And to the chat, Bureau 31, Bureau, good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you stopping in. It's always a pleasure. So, but yeah, y'all thought. Go ahead, Lacey.
I was about to say that nasty character in was it the Rules of the Game?
Rules. It was Ralph Mueller. Mm-hmm.
Ralph Mueller was a mix. If you mashed like Tuvixed, Mr. Morden, and the reporter who came onto the station.
The Illusion of Truth episode, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's without any of the redeeming characters. He was a slimy little rodent. Like a low-level thug with delusions of adequacy.
Yeah. Well, and not to mention next week we'll be discussing the episode appearances and other deceits, and we have a character that I was like, why didn't he just die? And I'm like, why is this asshole still alive? Why didn't he get a PPG through the heart? And of course I'm talking about, mild spoiler, Mr. Wells from the Night Watch. Like, yes. Oh, you sleazy little son of a bitch. I hated Wells when he was Night Watch. I hate him even more in this episode.
He is what I call the obvious instigator of more fun to happen down the road.
I would have liked to have called him Roadkill. Or I would have rather called him Spacing Fodder. Because, man, oh man, would I have loved to have seen him spaced. And everybody's thinking in the chat, gee, Master's going a little dark today. Yes.
Well, no, see, I imagine Naroon's actor for that character, because it's the same guy.
Yes.
He probably enjoyed playing that character because he showed up multiple times as that character. Oh no! But yeah, I imagine as more of the like Psychor stuff came out, that character probably would have popped up another time or two.
I think kind of these last two episodes and some of the one or two coming really showed the potential that Crusade had, because we know like it was going to go into the darkness of the shadow tech. We had the backstory for the telepath war. There was some really good stories ahead, and revisiting some of the characters that are being established as we go. And a lot Gideon would have carried on with that relationship. That would have been fun. I think they could have become like the Delenn and Sheridan of this series.
Maybe. I'm not saying no, but maybe. Yeah.
different way, but I think it
Well,
would have been different dynamic.
yeah, they have like they would have had probably more of like an Indiana Jones kind of pulpy
Yeah,
romance dynamic.
Yeah.
yeah, they would have been more like Marion and Indy rather than Delenn and John. But I did like how I did enjoy the dynamic between Gideon and Lockley. They worked well together. They had the one thing I will say about them, they both have a similar sense of humor, and that's a that's one thing I do like. And but they don't have a similar mentality because um they both are like kind of career first and relationship second, whereas John and Delenn were like, no, we can do it all. We can do both, and it worked. It worked nicely. There was a nice balance there. But I think maybe after maybe once they found the cure for the plague, then yeah, maybe Gideon would have been like, okay, I can ease off the gas a little bit here. And yeah, maybe I can. And maybe once Lockley left the service, then maybe she'd be like, She's like, you know what? That Gideon guy was a pretty good fella. She's like, you know what? I think we'll track him down and see if we can't, see if maybe we can't work on this.
It could have taught them the value of what they might have lost and what they still have. I think there is room for personal and character development through what they were both doing. And honestly, the way the two worked off each other, I thought they worked brilliant.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, you know what? You know what Gideon really proved? That a large piece of piping can solve just about any problem. Because he absolutely whops those two Lurkins. They're like, we have tools that shoot lasers in our hand, and Gideon's like, I've got a great big pipe. Bashy, bashy, bash.
Yeah,
You
low
didn't
tech
put in your
solution
GPS
for a high tech problem. Aha.
Well, and I'm going to say this too. When Max asks Sarah, Dr. Chambers, to keep his ex-wife company, and Chambers knocks the snot out of Ralph Mueller, I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, Doc can kick some ass too. Is there anybody else on that ship that can't kick ass? I'm like, Gideon can kick ass. We know Galen can kick ass, just not, well, physically per se. We know that Dorina can kick ass, and now we find out that even the Doctor can throw a good punch. And a pretty decent kick.
I think what was good about that is it showed how guy thinks he's a bigger fish than he is. Because when people stood up to him, he had his ass kicked by pretty much everyone.
Well,
But
Max
someone
and
project fear, and Max's wife is not someone who was able to deal with people like that. So she was ground down under the heel by a scumbag like him. But when somebody stands up to that, he folded.
I'm trying to think though. I think wasn't a few episodes back. Chambers was saying, "Oh, I selected this ship," So I got a sense that she had a little bit of combat field training, just because of the case that she might have been in more of a combat medic situation before.
That's possible.
Because again, she was saying she did select this particular because I wanted to do my best and.
Well, the episode Warzone kind of contradicts that just a little bit, but she does, I think, in some way, does choose to be on board Excalibur. It's just that she's kind of like, what the hell am I doing here? But we'll get into that next week. I do want to bring up a few of Colin's comments here. I'll bring up this one right here. They were both in positions where any relationship with a crew member would have been a bad idea, but equal rank and outside of each other's chain of command. Yeah, exactly, Colin. And like I said, I think they would have had good dynamic as a couple. And I like what she said in that episode towards the end of the episode, where she's like, "I'm not looking for anything serious," and he's like, "Neither am I." He's like, "We had a good time," and she's like, "Hey, you want to get some dinner before you go?" And he's like, "Sure." And I like that. I do. I mean, I don't like the whole idea of necessarily casual sex just because of some of my own personal beliefs, but I'm not going to be a hypocrite because, well, I did the same thing. Let's see. Lockley might have had a quiet contact when the Excalibur was on the run later in the series, which explains why Tracy Scoggins was in the title credits or credit titles. Yeah.
Well, and if it would have ran for like a normal 24, 25 episodes, then as long as the characters in like at least half those episodes, they're pretty much listed in the main credits, I would think. But then again, that's just my little 2 cents there.
Yeah.
Because I think even back when the series was officially stopped, didn't they have like 17 or 18 episodes already written by that point?
I honestly don't know because like I said, I
That,
didn't really keep track of Crusade up until now and everything. This is my first time watching through it. So
yeah, I'd have to look it up, but I think they had a few more episodes already fully scripted out even by the time the plug was pulled.
There was a few. Let's see there. I'll get the link for that. And there were like 3, I think, were scripted out, and the last, I think there's actually mentions there of the descriptions of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes, I think, were scripted, and there was 2 or 3 were just the names were there. So,
okay. Okay.
It's not spoilers anymore when you mention it.
Mm-hmm. And do you want to say hello to a good friend of the channel, fellow YouTuber himself, Sci-Fi Nation? Good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you stopping in and leaving a like. Hope you will check out the replay. So
yeah, good to see you, Sci-Fi Nation.
Well, guys, any other thoughts on these 2 episodes?
I still think it's funny that half the time the food they get down below is made from like a Drazi.
Yeah. Well, it just shows you how good the Drazi can be. How good a cook the Drazi can be. They can kick ass and they can cook.
And have spirited battles every couple of years over certain types of cloth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Talk about completely and utterly. I think Gideon's the only character who was in every episode with Matheson a close second. Yeah. Yeah, because unfortunately, the last 4 episodes are kind of Galen-less. I mean, except for his appearance. Except for his appearance in Warzone, we haven't seen Galen in a while. And, they kind of wrote his character in that way where he'd pop in, pop out. So. But, I did make
a good thing.
Yeah, that's no, you're fine, Alicia. Go ahead.
I think because if he was there too often, he would have been, and I think Straczynski was saying it, that they would have relied on him too much, used his power to fix so much, where now it's what I like about Crusade, it gives all characters a chance to shine, where if it was just Galen, we need your help, Galen, do this.
The amazing Galen. Parlor tricks out of the woodwork there. So that means like his appearances make more sense when it's really pertinent to the story rather than just using him as a one-trick pony to get people out of trouble. Which is why even though he's not a Paragon level character, like in terms of personality or even capability, I could easily see them trying to use him as a crutch to get out of writing situations.
Yeah, that's true. So, but it was kind of the same deal with Kosh. Galen was the Kosh for this series. You didn't want to have him too much, otherwise people would get tired of him. But you have him just enough. It keeps him interesting, and it keeps the show interesting.
That, and they would have put more stuff out about the Techno Mages later anyway, especially when it became pertinent with like Shadow Tech or even Borlon Tech, more than likely, or if they were finding something very weird in the depths of the hyperspace lanes, like with what happened with that other episode where it's like, hey, it's his white whale moment.
Yeah,
of course.
So, oh, and Bureau 31, I have a copy of the unfilmed scripts of episodes 14, 15, and 14, 16, and 22. Nice. Very nice. So,
Wow, so they did get a lot more scripts done. Probably like almost a whole first season worth.
yeah, at least. So, anyway, but, well, Fiona, Elysium, any closing thoughts before we wrap up for the afternoon?
I suppose just one where how Gideon got Lockley to go for that journey down to down below, where he saw you never get out. They both wanted to, but he had to kind of fake antagonize her, which I
Yeah,
like that dynamic. I really like that dynamic.
as do I.
Well,
As do
they push each other's buttons pretty well, but they also push other buttons. Oh no!
Well, the other thing is they're not doing it to be mean spirited or anything. They're just doing it to like, hey, come on, take a chance. Let's go.
Well, they goad each other in a good way.
Yes, exactly. It's like a brother and sister would do. It's not like adversarial. So, but for me, these two episodes, the takeaways for me were the commentary on obviously religious belief, how some people can be way too fanatical, and how other times people can be complete and utter assholes. And it's the other the other stuff we've already discussed. I will say, we're almost at the end of Crusade, and I'm really glad we did decide to review this series. It's been really insightful. These are characters I have generally grown to appreciate and really enjoy, and I kind of wished we would have gotten more time with them. But anyway, we'll be wrapping up Crusade next week with the episodes Warzone and Appearances and Other Deceits. So
You can see Human Naroon get into more shenanigans.
yeah, Mr. Wells from the wonderful former Nightwatch spokesperson. What an asshole.
That means he
Gee,
must have greased the right wheels to survive the purges.
Yeah, little shitheel. Anyway. Well, anyway, folks, that is going to be the review. That's going to be their stream for this afternoon. Again, I want to thank my fellow council members, Fiona Wolf and Mounts of Elysium, for being here today. MB Geek was going to be with us, but he is feeling under the weather. Unfortunately, his allergies are acting up, which is true for a lot of people this time of year. But as I mentioned, we will be back next week with the review for the final 2 episodes of Crusade, Warzone, and Appearances and Other Deceits. And then we're discussing it, but we will be doing, I think, a wrap-up review, maybe a couple of wrap-up reviews for both B5 and Crusade, and all the TV movies, just to kind of give our final thoughts on, well, the last 2 going on 3 years that the council has been together. So, but we want to thank all of you who are here this afternoon or this evening live. Archer Collin, of course, DJ Ronnie G, Bureau 31, everybody who's watching out there in YouTube land and, well, internet land in general. Thank you all for being here today. We will see you all next week. And, of course, until next time, this is a Council of One saying in 3, 2, 1. Zooty! Zooty! Zoot! 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 Zoot!